Hello and welcome to Nana's Crafty Home. My name is Tanya. Today's tutorial is going to show you how to complete my Bewitching Braids cape that you can find as a free pattern on my website. This is really a lovely piece, wonderful addition to your cold weather wardrobe in the fall or winter. An extremely easy pattern. It is very repetitive, and this is a great pattern for the beginner that has not done a cable in the past. And I will show you how to get these wonderfully textured braids that you can see here on this cape. It is a shorter cape. The size that I'm showing here in the video and also in the pattern would fit most anyone from small through probably extra large. But I do give explanation or details in my pattern on my website if you would like to upsize this to plus size or more. Again, this is a very repetitive one row repeat. So once you get that one row down, you just continue on through the pattern. It is worked from the bottom up, so it's a great way to customize the size as well, because where it fits is just above the elbow. So if you would like to use another yarn substitute, since I am using a super bulky yarn for this pattern, if you're using a different size weight and you want to have the approximate look or size as mine, just do your beginning chain to fit around comfortably around the area of your arms and chest, just above your elbows. So that's another great way to see what size you need to work for this pattern. All you need for this pattern is Lion Brand's Wool Ease Thick and Quick yarn. Now for my pattern that you can see on my website, I did use the Thick and Quick bundle. So I only need, it's the bonus bundle. So all you needed for that were just one skein of each color because it's worked in two colors. I went ahead and to show you that you can also use the regular skeins of the Woolies Thick and Quick. You would just need two of each color, and that would give you the same amount of approximate yardage that you would get in the bonus bundle. So whatever you have access to, certainly they're available on the Lion Brand website, and I do have a link on my website if you would like to purchase that from them directly. But if you have them locally, you can sure substitute, as I am here in the video, just two skeins of each of the colors. I am going to be making it in a burgundy and a gray for the video. The gray is called Slate, and this burgundy is Claret. So very rich looking colors, again in that super bulky size 6 weight yarn. If you would like to add the faux fur pom-poms, you will need 2 in the color desired. I purchased mine through Amazon. I also have a link on my website if you would like to purchase the same ones that I have here. You will also need a size L crochet hook, 8.0 millimeter crochet hook, and a pair of scissors and tapestry needle as well to complete the pattern. All right, to begin, of course, we're working from the bottom up. Our beginning chain is going to be 108, and we're going to be, once we've completed the 108 chains, we're going to be doing a slip stitch to the first chain without twisting. We want to have that base chain to not twist around, but we're going to be forming a circle. And I'm going to show you a neat little trick here once we get going. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So a great little trick when you're doing a lot of chains and you need to form a circle, so slip stitching into that first chain. Sometimes you can get that chain twisted around and you don't realize it until you've worked that first round. So a great way to ensure that doesn't happen is after you've worked, 10 or so chains, go ahead and remove your hook, and then you're going to insert your hook into the first chain that you made. Then we're going to insert our hook back in to our loop. So you can see here I've got this loop of chains on here. And now I'm going to go ahead and just continue on chaining until I've reached the number of chains done. So go ahead and continue on to 108. So 11, 12, 13. So I've completed 108 chains, and you can see here I still have both loops on my hook. When you've completed your last chain, you're going to go ahead and pull it all the way through both loops, and now you have your chain, you have your circle, and you'd have a chain that is not twisted at all. And so that is a great little trick for you. You can chain as many as you like doing it that way, and you never have to worry about twisting that foundation chain. So once you've completed that, we're going to chain 3. Chain 3 throughout this pattern is always going to count as a stitch. So once we have done that, we're going to double crochet in each chain around, slip stitching to the first chain 3 that we did, our first stitch. So go ahead and double crochet in each chain around, and I will come back to show you round 2, which is going to be our first round of the cable stitch, that front post treble. So continue on just doing a simple double crochet, and at the end you will have 108 stitches, and make sure that you count before you go on to row 2 that you have 108 stitches. All right, so I have 108 stitches for that round 1, and I've done my slip stitch to that first chain 3, the first stitch of the round. This is an excellent time to try it on and make sure that this fits comfortably around just above your elbow, and it's loose, nice and loose around there. Just think of it as how would you want your cape to lay, giving you some freedom of movement for your arms. So now we're going to begin round 2, and this is where we begin our front post treble stitch. And to start out this round, we're going to just chain 3, and again remember that chain 3 throughout this pattern will count as our first stitch of each round. We will skip the next stitch, so this would be my next stitch. We're going to skip that, and we're going to work our next stitch here, and that is going to be a front post treble. And for a treble stitch, of course, we yarn over twice, and we're working a front post stitch around this stitch. So we're inserting our hook from the front around that post from the previous round to the front of that post. We're going to yarn over, and we're going to pull up a loop. We're going to yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. The reason I am doing a treble instead of a double, because you'll notice the rest of these stitches will be double crochets. It's in order to make that stitch, because we're working it around a post, which is down below where we're going to be working our double crochets. That will make that stitch the same height as the double crochets that we're working throughout the rest of the round. So you won't have a dip in each round as you're working these stitches. So now we're going to work our next front post treble. So we're going to yarn over twice, and this one we're going to come back and work in that skipped stitch, that one that we skipped at the beginning of the round. And we want to work that stitch from behind the treble that we just worked. So it's going to be a little awkward. It's going to feel a little awkward if you've not done anything like that before, but it may help to kind of pull that treble down and kind of guide your fingers to where that double crochet is. So this is that double crochet from the previous round that we skipped, and we're going to be working another front post around it. So I'm going to pull that treble that I just worked down, and I'm going to just insert my fingers where I want that hook to go and work a front post around it. So I'm going to insert my hook from the front, around the back, and then out the front as well. So then yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two. That creates this braid appearance that we get here. You see how, because they're crossed over like that, and we're going to be repeating that throughout, which gives it this braided rope appearance, which is really attractive and actually fun to work once you get the hang of it. So now that we've worked both of those front post trebles, we're going to go ahead and double crochet in the next 4 stitches. And one of the things I'm going to just point out at this point is be careful where you work your next 4. Because you may have a tendency of picking that stitch up that we had already worked with those front post treble crochets. Because we worked around the post instead of the top of the stitches, you might look at that and think, oh, well, that's where my double crochet needs to go. No, we've already worked that stitch with a front post treble, so we want to go into the next 4 stitches. So double crochet in the next 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to repeat that sequence of front post trebles just like we did back here. So we're going to yarn over twice, we're going to skip the next stitch, and we're going to work a front post treble around the next stitch. So inserting our hook around the post from the front, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 to complete that treble crochet. I'm going to come back and work the one that we skipped, yarning over twice. I'm going to pull that treble down that I just worked, find the stitch that we skipped, insert my hook around it, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And we're just going to repeat that around. So I'm just going to continue showing you. Again, remembering we don't want to do our next 4 double crochets starting out in the one that we already worked. We want to make sure we're catching the next one. So double crochet in the next 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and again, that same sequence, front post treble after the skipped stitch. So we're going to skip this stitch and work a front post treble by yarning over twice, inserting from the front, around that post to the front again, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over twice. We're going to work a front post treble behind this one in that skipped stitch. Pull that out of the way. Insert your hook around that skipped stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Double crochet in the next 4. So continue repeating that same pattern all the way around. until you get to the last 3 stitches. And you'll work a double crochet in those last 3 stitches to finish your round. So just go ahead and continue working this round. When I come back, I will show you how to work round 3, which will be the round that you're repeating throughout the rest of this cape. All right, so I've reached the end of my round. After I did that final front post treble sequence here, I had 3 double crochets left, and I will slip stitch to that first chain. So basically what you have is a front post treble and then 4 double crochets or 4 stitches in between each of those treble 2-stitch sequences here. So at the end of every round, you'll end up with 3 stitches before you do your slip stitch, because of course that chain 3 counts as your first stitch for that round. So now we're going to go ahead and start on round 3, and round 3 is the repeat throughout the rest of the pattern. So we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip the next stitch, which is this front post treble, and we're going to work another front post treble around this post. And so this front post is where we're going to be working. It's behind this one here, so we have this one in the front. We're going to be working in the one in the back, and it's going to be a front post treble again. So yarning over twice, inserting our hook around the post, yarning over and pulling up a loop, yarning over, pulling through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Now we're going to pick up that skip stitch. We're going to work behind the one that we just worked. So yarn over twice, kind of pull this one out of the way, and we're going to work around the one that we skipped, this front post treble. So insert our hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. So you can see that really gives it this braided appearance as we're coming through and working on those front post trebles that we worked from the previous round. So we're going to again work a double crochet over the next 4 stitches, again being careful not to work in the stitch that we previously worked with the treble stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to skip the next stitch, and we're going to do a front post treble around this one here, which is behind the front one. So insert our hook, come around that post, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We're going to come back and pick up that skipped stitch, yarn over twice, insert our hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Double crochet in the next 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Skip the next stitch. We're going to work a front post treble around the next stitch, yarning over twice, insert our hook around that post, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over twice. We're going to come back and pick up that skipped stitch. We're going to move that one out of the way because we want to work behind it. Insert our hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We're basically just going to be repeating that throughout this round and every round now throughout the cape. And you can see here what a wonderful texture it gives this appearance of this braided rope. Just really lovely. So go ahead and continue on. You're going to be continuing with color A through round 8, and then we will switch to color B, repeating the same round that we just did for the rest of our cape. But I will come back when we switch out color B for round 9. So once we've completed 8 full rounds with color A, we are ready to bring in color B. So we will just do that at the end of this round. Pull in your color B, chain 3, and continue on repeating round 3 for the next 8 rounds before fastening off. So we will work through that pattern exactly the same way, just with color B. When I come back, I will show you how to make your chain drawstring for the top part of the cape. That will cinch your cape close to the neck at the top and add your faux fur pom-poms. So now for that cinch part at the top of your cape, what pulls your cape together at the top, you're going to take both color A and color B, and we're going to just do a simple chain with both of those colors together. So chain 120. 1, 2, 3. I finished my chain, and what we're going to do is we're going to weave this in the top row of that cape. So what you're going to need to do is find your seam, and so this is where my chain 3 beginning of the round was, and so the front of my cape is going to be on the opposite side. So I'm going to want to start weaving it in on the opposite side of the seam. So once you find that, what we're doing is we're taking our chain and we're going to weave it back behind these holes that you can see were made around each side of that braid that we made. It just naturally makes these holes, which are the perfect size to just weave in behind that chain that we made. So you just put that behind a braid, come back behind this one, weaving it in and out. In that top row. All the way around to the other side. And then once we've done that, we can add our faux fur pom-poms to the end of the chain. All right, we've come along through the top, we've cinched it. You can see here my chain is a pretty good length, so if you're wanting it to be a little bit shorter, you could sure do fewer chains on that, but I like mine nice and long. It gives me some versatility in how I can wear it, and I think the faux fur pom-poms look really cute hanging off of this cape. So now we're ready for our faux fur pom-poms. The ones that I purchased have these great little tabs. They're like a stretchy attachment here, and so I can just take one of my ends and just run it through those tabs and attach it directly through. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to anchor it onto my chain by doing a couple of little stitches here to go through on the other side and through that loop again. will just help that stay attached. And then once I've done a few of those to anchor it in place, I can go ahead and weave in my end in the chain, which will also help keep that anchored in place. So once you've hidden your end, you've attached it, you can do that now to the other side, weave in your other ends, and you'll be finished here. There you have it, the Bewitching Braids Cape, a fun, easy, and fast pattern. It only takes a few hours for you to complete this lovely item with your whimsical little faux fur pom-poms here on the ends of your chain. If you like my video tutorials, please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also follow me on social media on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. I love to see your projects. If you make any of my patterns, please remember to hashtag Nana's Crafty Home if you share them on social media. I would love to see them. And I hope that you've enjoyed this today. Thanks so much for being with me. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.